Hello and welcome to SketchQuest. We here at TYG have collected some of the most talented artists within our reach to create this series as we work towards improving our artistic skills. Come join us and begin your journey today. Your legend starts here. But before we can paint for the gods, it's time to start with some basics. And don't worry if you're only just starting out, because I'll be learning alongside you. And remember, if you want to share your creations with us, use the hashtag SketchQuest. Let's see what today's quest is, shall we? We're back and ready for action. Joining me today again is illustrator, animator and Twitch extraordinaire Art Womble. Today we're going to be doing some advanced rendering. Are you excited?
I am. Hi.
I actually am very terrible at rendering, so I'm excited for this because I have seen some of the food that you've drawn on Gartic with, like, mouth-watering.
Yeah, food's a very fun thing to draw, especially like shiny stuff. Like little highlights just make things pop so nicely.
You did a PVC one or a leather one? No, it was PVC, and it was just like nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Chef kiss.
All right, so to start us off with, so I've given you this eye to work on. What we're gonna do? I think, how do I want to tackle this? So there's a few ways of rendering, essentially, just through different pens and different thingamajigs.
The different tools.
Yeah. What we're going to do, we're just going to go from dark to light on this. So, if you just get like a regular round pen, maybe like a little bit textured, and bring the opacity down to about probably a third, with full black, and then we're just going to kind of bring in our shadows.
Okay.
I'm going to have the light coming from the top on this, so everything that's basically wouldn't have light coming from this direction. Is going to be darker. So we're just going to spend some time just kind of throwing that in. Accentuate this eyelid as well.
Are you doing that all on a different layer? Obviously, we're doing this on a...
Yeah. No, just one layer on this one.
Ooh.
Nice and easy, nice and simple. Whenever I do realistic stuff, I like to use one layer, just purely because it kind of emulates the push and pull of more traditional art. Like just making it go darker and then bringing it back lighter. It's like it's the dance that you do. Okay, so I think we've got some good darks in here. And we're going to go up to the white. Bring opacity down a bit more. I think I'll go for about 10%. So we can build up a bit slower. And you can just kind of add a few little highlights where we think the light would hit. So, top of the curved eyeball. Bottom of the iris is going to get lit up a bit. And top of the eyelid. We're just going to kind of brush along slowly, build up that light, and stop when we think it looks nice.
Stop when we think it looks nice. Okay.
Yeah. You're also going to catch some light on this bottom eyelid as well. We're going to go there. For that, we can make it a bit stronger just because we're fighting the lines right now.
How have you done that so fast?
We can even put some light up here as well, just because that's going to get some. Light just to kind of surround it, make it feel a bit more, less of a floating eye. Okay, so once we're kind of happy with what we're looking at in terms of light and dark, we've got our tones okay. A good way to work it out is to look at the navigate, well, depends on your drawing program layout, but I have a navigator at the top that helps me move around the canvas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like a very zoomed out view of what you're drawing, which is nice to kind of look at, and you can get a good feel of where you're at with that.
Just imagine.
So what I'm going to do once we've got that is we're going to color pick, which is holding the Alt key or using the ink dropper, one of the mid-tone grays, something like here, and with low opacity again, going to go around that edge and just smooth it out. Going to make sure everything's. I kind of go over these black lines, get rid of them essentially. And if you want to pick an edge to be a bit lighter, you pick from the light side. If you want to be a bit darker, you can pick from the darker side.
I cannot keep up. You're so fast at this.
That's alright, you're doing good. Another nice way to kind of even out these tones is to use blending brushes. Which, if you have a look on your sidebar, I can't show you that. There. You've got these are your blenders here.
See,
I'm gonna pick.
I always find using the blender makes me feel like it looks less like art.
See. It depends on how you use it. If you
like, do you
essentially yeah, because I know what you mean. Because a lot of people just kind of blend everything so it's just smooth.
Yeah.
And doesn't look like it's been drawn.
Yeah.
But the way we use blenders, I'm gonna go for what's called the Painterly blender. Make it nice and small, and I'm gonna go over this area, just kind of lightly hitting it, just kind of adding texture as I go. But do this on a bit of a more obvious place as well. So rather than it blending it to smooth, you blend it to add texture and even out the tones. If we blend along the edge of this line here, you keep that dark of the line work, but incorporating it into the tone, into the shading, I guess. So rather than having lines, a nice kind
I see.
You can just kind of tap it. It's like little movements.
Little love taps.
Especially with skin texture, because you want to keep some roughness. You don't want it to be smooth, because that's not skin. If we just kind of tiny little lines over and over again, your hand gets used to doing this after a while. It can feel very alien when to start with. But essentially, I'm just kind of randomly moving my hand around.
Oh, we were making you really conscious of your hand movements right now. You're like, what am I doing? Like that little difference, though, the love taps, that's what they're called now, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The little love taps, like, yeah, the difference between that and, like, yeah, like you said, just, like, being blended out, so they just don't look like art anymore, they look like pixels.
Yeah. And you can use the all-purpose blenders and kind of blur everything out. If you want to go for that kind of look, but you can also do that and then work on top of it to add texture back in. So you've got that smooth finish, and then if you go over and do this, you've got a nice little bit of texture going on. And we're basically just kind of going around looking at the lines that were there from the sketch, kind of taking them out, blending them into the drawing. It doesn't matter really if it makes bits darker than it should be or anything like that just yet, because we're always going to work on top of this again.
That's wild.
So now that I can see all this is kind of blended, I'm going to go with a low opacity black again on my brush. And just kind of find edges where I think kind of need to be defined. I like the bit where the eyelid meets the eye. This little corner bit where the gunk happens.
Where the gunk happens.
I don't know the technical term for it.
No, neither do I.
And just over the eye here. And I can see that this eyelid, this area should be darker. I'm just going to go over that.
I still can't get over the difference, just like putting the opacity down on the pen has made.
Oh yeah,
like
it. Sorry.
It's alright. I just wouldn't have thought of doing it that way.
This is like, it's exactly how I work in like programs like Gartic and stuff like that. The simpler programs, because if you have opacity, you can do pretty much anything. Like, you don't need fancy brushes or like textured brushes. You just need a good hand and a bit of practice.
I guess that's why we're here, isn't it? A bit of practice.
Yeah. It's the unfortunate secret that no one wants to. No one wants to.
I've done that way too dark.
Come to terms with. What I'm going to do next is go dark again, and I'm going to go into the eye, because the eye isn't a flat circle.
Mm-hmm.
The eye has these crazy wavy bits, also known as the iris. Just little muscles that pull back and forth. just going to kind of squiggle around, because you don't have to be accurate with this kind of thing. Eyes don't make sense, so we don't have to make sense of them.
Nonsense. We like nonsense in this channel.
Yeah. You just make something that vaguely looks like an eye, and people will be happy. Now we have our squiggles. I'm going to darken off the top here. I'm going to blend them in. Then we're going to go in with some light. Make it so they're less just kind of rings, and just kind of add some little highlights to them. Like little bits that are going to catch the light. Make it nice and pretty.
Oh, look at that. I'm just going to undo that. I'm not happy with that. I skipped like 3 steps though.
Oh, you're fine. It's looking good.
I can't get over how like that's just little dots. Although like it's like dot work, isn't it? Like dot work is so intricate and
look at like any pointillist artist. You can like make anything with dots. Anything you want to.
There was a Scottish artist, Robert Thompson, I believe it was, and he did like Judge Dredd and stuff with just dot art, and it was incredible.
Alright.
And, he was really good.
One thing I love doing at this stage is adding highlights. I'm going to go nice and strong with my white. And just, again, we're dotting in as we're keeping that texture. Just in the bits that would catch the light a bit more. Kind of throw in some little bits to kind of, what's the word? Suggest that there's this eye's looking at something bright.
A reflection.
That's the one.
It's okay, I'm an author and I forgot the word replied for 6 months. Literally 6 months.
There's like 10 pages where it's all he said.
Yep.
She said back.
Yep. I wish I was joking. Like half a book later.
Oh no. Just to give this eye a bit more life as well, we're going to add some highlights on top of it. Don't have to be too sharp. I'm going to just assume they're in a nice bright room with some nice bright windows.
Oh, look at that.
And you can even go low opacity as well, and say that there's something in front of them, like maybe like a white table or something. And remember, eyes are very wet. So at the bottom here, we're going to have some water gathered. That's going to reflect the light that's hit the eye. And come up a bit. Just going to throw some little dots to kind of emulate texture on the bottom lash. And then, of course, we need some eyelashes.
This is usually where I really muck up my characters, because my eyelashes always look like cartoons.
Oh, you do the
big flicky eyelashes.
like one of these.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Look, I came up for animation and cartoons. That's where that's my wheelhouse.
So if you want to avoid doing that, what we can do is just kind of get a brush that we think our maximum eyelash thickness is going to be. And just kind of flick out Don't be afraid of clumping them. Because that's what mascara does.
Yeah.
Make them nice kind of hit each other, kind of go, you can have a stray. On the side of the eye, they're going to go out. And then as you get to the middle, start bringing them down and forward. They're just kind of going straight up. And not as outside of the line as the ones on the front, on the edge. As we go into the eye, they're going to start going that way.
They're so pretty.
Just going to reinforce this eyelid as well. Just going to throw some dark under there.
Oops. Giant brush mark across my
I'm gonna assume that if you've got eyelashes this nice, you're using a bit of eyeliner. It's never perfect, so we're gonna dot that, make it nice and textured again.
My eyeliner is always like my eyebrows. They're always cousins, not sisters. Like, they're barely related sometimes.
Oh yeah, it's the same whenever you draw a portrait. Like, the second eye is never the same as the first one. Unless you copy and paste, but then that...
Yeah, I see a lot of people using the symmetry tool, and I'm like... I do get it, because, like, it's a shortcut, which is helpful, but, like, when you're learning, it's not.
Like, I wouldn't mind you, like... I wouldn't say don't use it.
Yeah.
It's good for positioning.
Mm-hmm.
I would always say, if you are going to use the symmetry tool, like, bring down the opacity on the other side and draw over it. So you've got something in the same place, but not the same.
It is the whole, it's the tool, not the only tool. It's not the only thing argument, isn't it? Which we're not going to get into.
They're there to make it easier. They're not there to make it, well, make it.
I'm just gonna wind up rewatching this video like 6 times because I can't keep up, man. You're so fast. Like...
Well, that just comes with years and years of doing this.
Yeah.
And we can throw in some little opacity, just kind of get in some skin texture down here. It's like all skin has a direction, so when you're drawing it, you kind of want to follow that. The low opacity helps you build it slowly. You can judge where you want to put a line and then... like, oh. That's it.
I'm slowly getting the hang of using it with an opacity brush. Like, I'm just using a bit of a blend at the moment, but... like, yeah, using the opacity, like, it's so different. You can put in the little details at the same time.
One thing we can do is also blend our highlights. So they wouldn't be sharp at both ends, maybe. And then bring that down. And say even after doing all this, say I want to make it a bit darker on one side. That's what we've got airbrushes for. add a little extra curve to this eyeball,
Wow.
making it darker on the edges. Also adds a bit of drama.
The drama. That's incredible. I'm not even gonna try and keep up. You've completely surpassed me there. I've learned so much. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I learn a lot watching your Gartic and like just general like emote streams because you just move so fast and with such confidence. Like, I love watching it.
It's very much something that comes with time. Like, if you spent, like, say if you followed this tutorial like 10 times, you'd easily be able to do this in half the time.
I'm gonna follow this 10 times. You just watch me. Like, I think that's the best eye I've ever drawn. I mean, I didn't draw it. It's the best eye I've ever coloured.
That's good.
Oh, goodness.
See, one thing I would like, just as a little, with your blending, don't be afraid to go against the grain because you're doing like little dots.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna mess it up too much if you just kind of go blending like up and down rather than side to side on a few bits. And that's how you get a more textured look rather than the stripy look that you've got there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I would do an eye.
I love it. That's amazing. Well, everybody, I hope you're inspired to draw some absolutely incredible eyes. Remember, if you want to share your creations with us, use the hashtag SketchQuest. Thank you for joining us again, Womble. Appreciate
Thank you for having me.
Remember, you can find Art Womble on Twitch. What days again?
Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday.
I'll try and learn that, I promise. Maybe for another episode. Not this one, not today. Until then, everybody, happy questing. We'll see you later, taters. Bye!
Bye-bye.